Well, all right, I hit one that's kind of the bad miss outside, is I'll hit it on the toe, I draw it a little bit. Now, I had one like that in the other data set. I want to see which miss was better. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. Mitch Schneider back here again to test out the new T250s versus the old T200. So this was my old gamer. Just put these in the bag quite literally yesterday after doing a little bit of a reshaft. Been playing with them for, gosh, almost a month now at this point, but wanted to reshaft these, put the new Rainbow Finish Pro Plus C-Taper S120s, stiff. I have those in the irons. I've got the C-Taper Light X115s in the wedges, but I digress. We've got the 120 in this, the Axiom 105X, right? So wanted to compare a little bit of previous gamer to new gamer, as well as what I feel different in the T250 versus the T200. This T250, what I really love about it is a singular design. This badge in the back that really kind of sounds fake. We've kind of done a video about that where I'm hitting the golf ball in the back of that. So you can hear the difference here.
This is last year's T200.
Clicky, right? Sounds fake, plastic-like. And they did fix this. We've got the L face, which has been apparently a crazy breakthrough, according to the USGA as well as Titleist. And I'd like to agree. I think this is a huge step in the right direction. From T150 to T150, I didn't notice too much of a difference other than the turf interaction, which was a big thing that they were promoting. In the T250 versus the T200, so far just outside playing, I've noticed a huge difference in this product. I think it's a huge step forward, so excited to talk about it a little bit more. Let's get swinging. All right, everyone, so I'm gonna start with the T200 of old. Hit this a few times, and we're gonna compare numbers versus the new T250. I'm loving the new build, how it looks, how it feels. But I have a lot more reps with this. So is this gonna be a better fit for me, the new stuff, or is the old stuff still better? I used to tell my customers all the time that newer didn't always mean better. Now, while I do think the T250 is a better product than the T200, let's let the performance do the talking. That was smoked. One of the reasons why I wanted to try a different shaft than the Axiom is I tended to overdraw these Axioms, or at least the clubs when I had the Axioms in them. Now, is that my swing? Absolutely, but it felt easier for me to turn over. And by going back to something a little bit heavier, my hope is I don't flip as much. We're gonna find out, but so far, yeah, is that bad? No, not by any means. It's not something I like to see. Anytime it's going left, I'm trying to hit a straight shot or a cut. Most of the time, I'm just swinging my swing today, but just to let it naturally curl if it curls, but I just don't like seeing a draw anymore. It's just not very controllable for me, so I'm trying to get rid of that, or at least if I see that same shot, I'm making that same swing, can a different shaft help me to cut that in half? And that's significant for everybody back home, because let's say we don't gain any distance. There's other ways to get better. And by hitting straighter shots, more consistent, shot shape, more consistent face to path angle, which is what creates the curvature, closer to zero at that same number, all of that can translate to lower scores. And at this point, I'm not trying to gain distance. I know where my yardages need to be. I want to tighten up the dispersion and just curve it less, especially on the miss hits. Hammered. All right. It's going to be tough to follow. Sorry. Well, we just watched what happened with the T200. I can't lie, that felt pretty good. I was hitting it pretty solid. I will say I did not like that 4-iron on the golf course, mainly because I wasn't having to hit it off the turf very often. I was hitting it off the tee quite often. When I had it off the tee, I was kind of hitting a little bit higher on the face. It did not feel good to me. It felt clunky. So far on the golf course, using the T250 4-iron for a very similar reason, off the tee a lot more than off the turf, I've noticed a lot better feel when I've been teeing this up. So it gives me some more confidence hitting those shots, and I've had better results outside with the T250 4-iron than I have in the past with the T200. But when I'm hitting it off the turf, like we're seeing here, the Axiom with the T200 is looking really, really good. I just don't hit it off the turf very often outside. It's normally just me teeing it up. Change the tag. Stupid, stupid. I will say one other thing I'm looking for. The T200 4-iron, they're same loft, same lie, same length, same swing weight between these two clubs. The only difference is old T200 with Axiom versus T250 with the C-Taper 120 stiff. I have noticed that even though C-Taper is a low launch shaft, Axiom's kind of similar if you want to argue that, but at the same time it's lighter and arguably not quite as stiff due to the weight, but again, it's graphite. We don't have to go down that road. Point being is I want to be able to hit this a little bit higher, and I have noticed outside that my 4-iron's gone a little higher. Why is it significant to hit the 4-iron higher? Well, I'm hitting it into greens when I'm hitting on longer par 3s, still again off the tee. If I'm hitting on a par 4, okay, I don't really care if it's going a little bit lower, but in the event that I need to hit a green, I want to be able to have a landing angle closer to 45 degrees, even with a 4-iron, so I can have more stopping power. With the T200, I just never really felt like it was going to stop, and that was a problem for me. Money. And you'll hear Joe and I talk about total, and all that good stuff. Really, I'm looking for carry. What I'm trying to hit as a carry number for a 4-iron is about 225. If it's a little bit longer, fine. Not a big deal. I'm just hitting it a little bit better that day. But typically 225 is what I'm trying to carry a 4-iron. On the golf course, I might be smoothing it out in terms of just trying to make sure I'm swinging smooth and maybe a little slower. So maximum I'm hitting a 4-iron is 225. I'm normally I'm pulling a 4-iron when it's 215, 220. That's typical usage out there off the turf. Slight miss. That's the miss that I'm normally hitting a larger draw. And to see that just stay straight really inspires a lot of confidence that this is going to end up being the winner on the golf course. Let's hit one more and let the numbers do the talking. Well, all right, I hit one. That's kind of the bad miss outside, is I'll hit it on the toe. I draw it a little bit. Now, I had one like that in the other data set. I want to see which miss was better. Making your misses into better shots is the art of a good fit, and really how most of us can get better outside and shoot lower scores is eliminating those misses, or at least making those misses a lot better. All right, so we hit 5 with each, the T200 and T250. Let's check out the dispersion and the data and see which one's best, right? Right away, one thing you can notice is even though the T250 had the heavier shaft, I swung at 2 miles an hour faster, which it sounds counterintuitive, right? But when something works for you, bends and loads for you instead of against you, you can swing it faster, even though you don't feel like you're swinging it faster. And that's how it felt to me. 2 miles an hour, I was not expecting that. Normally when I see this kind of phenomenon, it's like half a mile an hour, maybe a mile an hour, but to see 2 is pretty significant. Now, I will say the ball speed was higher with the T200, okay? And the smash factor was better with the T200. But what is my biggest goal? That's not hitting it left. Well, looking at the dispersion, okay. But I only have one shot over here with the T200. With the T250, I've got 4. So let's just play devil's advocate a little bit and just hide our worst shots. Just taking one out. That's all we're doing. It's an 80% success rate, 4 out of 5. Okay? I mean, that's pretty easy to see for what I'm trying to accomplish, and considering they're the exact same carry. What did I say at the beginning? I'm not concerned about hitting I'm concerned about hitting my numbers. I don't want to gain distance. That's not what this is about. And yes, there's an argument to be made that I hit the T200 better due to the smash factor number and transfer the energy better. But what I am looking for is a shot further out to the right and not going left. That's my biggest issue on the golf course. When I shoot higher scores, I'm going left. So this showing me that it's not going left is the biggest thing. So even though you can argue the data is a little bit better with a T200, a little bit more consistent in the carry, I'm taking a shot pattern to the right of center all day long, because when I start getting tired, I'm going left. So it's gonna be a really fun rest of the season playing with these clubs. So yeah, awesome stuff. Really, really cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the channel.